So glad to be back out on the flats. It's been a really tricky few months in the Perth and Peel regions with the watercolour being so bad. I was out here using a Molossi Echo 65 floating stick bait. I'd taken off the trebles and put on a pair of assist hooks. I set up for whiting. So here I run through a really easy way that I do the retrieve. What I'm going to do here is I pull my hand back slightly and have my index finger on the top of the reel base and squeeze in. I pull my hand back slightly here, as you'll see, just to give myself a little bit of extra room for my index finger so I can give it more range of movement. So the rod moves more whether I give it a small or a large squeeze. So I'm just pushing in with my finger. That's all I do for the action. You can do so many different ways to walk the dog, but this is just a really simple way to do it when you're starting out. I'm using probably the wrong rod here, but I've got a 2500 Stratic with 8-pound braid and 6-pound leader, and my rod's a 2 to 5 kilo TD0, which is a little bit stiff, and it's got a bit of a faster action. What a faster action is that it sort of only bends in the first front of the tip, so you can set hooks really well for soft plastics. But when you're using little assist hooks like this, you're probably better off going with something that's got a little bit of a medium action, so you can set the hooks and not worry about them spitting your lure out.
Yes.
So here you hear the little pop, and I've got this beautiful whiting that hooked up.
Oh!
Threw out the hooks.
Oh!
Always painful losing a fish. It's a tricky day when they were sort of chasing it in ones and twos of whiting. Anyway, I got a nice little surface hit here. As soon as it started running, I knew exactly what it was. It was our mate herring. These are still good fun on the flats as well. Had the drag real nice and loose just to make sure it didn't throw out those assist hooks. These herring are good on the chew as well. If you eat them fresh, cook them whole, that's the way to go. It was still a pretty cold day out here. I think it was about 18 or 19 degrees, so when the wind picked up out in the water here, it was freezing, and especially when the clouds came over. Either way, it just kept on moving to keep myself warm, and cast after cast. I'm walking over to areas where there's weed beds, and I'm casting alongside that. Where I'm walking around, I'm trying to stay sort of knee or just above knee height, nothing over that for the whiting. If you're going for herring and whatnot, what you can do is walk over to the drop off. So you find an area where it just starts to get a little bit deeper, and you cast over that. You often pick up fish that are sort of cruising that edge. Another area which you can cast on the flats as well, if you can find an area which has been dredged. So often if you're on a flats and there's a big dredge line for where the boats come out, you walk out and you just cast along that, and you'll pick up herring, some tailor, and in the right time of year you'll also get things like your juvenile Aussie salmon. You can also find whiting in those sections as well, but you're better off using things like micro meats or blades where you're sort of going into the deeper areas. Got another little hezza here. A little bit smaller than the rest of the pack. Chucked him back. It's always a little fish which end up flicking around and getting a hook into your finger. Especially these little assist hooks can sometimes have one which is flying around. You hook yourself, then you hook the fish with the other hook. It can be a nightmare. Oh, there was another beautiful whiting follow there. Came up and just smacked it. I just couldn't get the hook set. I blame the rod, but you know, sometimes it's just pretty bad luck when you're using surface lures as well, because you're expecting them to slurp it off the top. Saw this one falling in, and bang, he hit it just in front of me. Awesome fun watching the surface hits on these herring. I was walking back to the car and I knew this drop-off area was always pretty reliable for herring, so I put in a few casts here and they just kept on smashing the lure. There was little schools coming up where it was 2 or 3s fighting for it, which is always fun watching them try and slope it off the surface. Although it's the best water quality that there's been in this Peel area for, I I guess the past few months, it's still quite murky compared to usual this time of year. There was quite a bit of prawns jumping around and whatnot. I didn't see the usual mullet cranking around, which is always a good sign that, you know, the flats are fired up. But, you know, it's still heating up. I think over week by week, it's really going to start to fire. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And if you've got any questions or comments, please comment below.